super happy, although I was nervous, to introduce a very, very, very special guest speaker. He's one of the kindest people I have ever met. Our guest is a cultural affairs specialist at the American Embassy. He will be talking about the scholarships programs offered by America for graduate students. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sami Saaied.
Thank you very much, Edgar. Let me first of all thank you all for coming this afternoon. You must be very motivated to be here on a Friday afternoon. Normally, many of you, I'm sure, want to be somewhere else, probably lying on the beach or somewhere else. But I'm sure this presentation is worth it, because I have some exciting news for you today. We have several opportunities that I'll be talking about. Many scholarship opportunities that concern you as students from the School of Engineering. But before going any further, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Sami Saaied. I'm in charge of the educational portfolio at the US Embassy. So we establish all kinds of institutional linkages between Tunisian institutions and US institutions. But also we are in charge of scholarships which allow students to go to study in the US, to do research in the US, or even to do for professional development. So let me, before I get started, ask you a couple of questions so that I can know the kind of audience I'm interacting with. First of all, I want to ask you, and you can raise your hand, how many of you have visited the US Embassy website? That's good. Not many, so you can discover a lot on this website. How many of you are on the Facebook page of the website of the embassy? Okay, all right. Well, have you ever heard of scholarship opportunities before? Or have you ever participated before? Any of you participated? You did? Oh yes, yes. You did participate, yes. But any of the young students here participated in any scholarship that we offer? You did? Which one? The Thomas Jefferson Scholarship. And I'll be talking about this scholarship. It's good that in this amphitheater we have one participant. Actually, I'm going to go through probably 6 or 7 programs that might concern you directly. And I invite you to pay attention to these opportunities, because you can get a lot out of them. So let me first of all talk about the goals and aspirations, and I would like to read this quote. This quote is by William Fulbright. Do you know William Fulbright? Do you know who is this man? I'm sure most one for the Fulbright program sitting in front of me know very well William Fulbright. But William Fulbright is a senator. He's an American senator, and he said in very few words this: international education exchange is the most significant current project designed to continue the process of humanizing mankind to the point we would hope that nations can learn to live in peace. So he actually was an advocate of a bigger picture than just sending people to study abroad. He was an advocate of how to build bridges of mutual understanding between nations. And these bridges of mutual understanding, in the long run, they can contribute to peace and prosperity. What is our mission? These are our broad lines of the mission that we try to stick to. Our mission is to try to develop strong and sustainable institutional ties. And we do this through a lot of what we call in French programmes de jumelage, linkage programs. And we have right now several linkages. We have at least two linkages with engineering schools. One is on robotics, and one is on biofuel processing. One is with an engineering school in Sachs with Rice University, and another one with an engineering school in Yale with Virginia Tech University. We try to respond to the needs of the large professional and academic community nationwide, and we try to bolster the exchange of expertise and know-how between Tunisian and American students, scholars, researchers, and professionals. Moving right along, this is the exciting program that will make your stay this afternoon worth it. It's called the Fulbright Tech Plus. The Fulbright Tunisia Tech Plus program, and it's a new program that we have just launched a week ago, and it is to do a master's degree in focusing on those 5 core specialties, and they are science, technology, engineering, math, and business. So if you are in any of these fields, or if you want to do any study in any of these fields or subfields, and there are a lot of subfields, I can mention if you are in the field of any field in the field of subfield of computer science, chemical science, biological science, medical and health sciences, civil engineering, electrical, electronic, information engineering, mechanical engineering, all kind of engineering, environmental biotechnology, nanotechnology, anything you can apply to this program. And this program allows you to go to the US and spend 2 years in the US and get a master's degree from the US. What are the requirements of this program? You must have fulfilled 4 years of post-secondary study. That means you are eligible, since you are going to graduate in June 2015. So you can apply now and then directly participate in the program for the academic year 2015-2017, because it's for 2 years. So you need to be fluent in English and have at least a good TOEFL score, and you can read the TOEFL scores up there. If you are sitting for the paper-based TOEFL, you need to have a 550, and you need to show relevant academic credentials in one of the 5 core fields. Is it clear or is it fuzzy? It's a bit fuzzy. Do you think we can do something about it?
This is the best image we can have. This is the best image.
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe at the end, because this is an important program, I don't want you to miss it. Everybody on the way out can pick the announcement, which has all the details. I don't want you to miss anything, because normally when I go and do presentations like this, and I know students are very high-tech, they start taking pictures of all the slides, so I don't have to do a lot of work myself. But in this case, it's a bit fuzzy, so I will share with you these flyers.
Can we share them now?
Yeah, we can.
Somebody can help you with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Thank you.
So this is the website on which you have to apply. You can either go to this very, very long website, or simply you can go to the embassy website, which starts with tunisia.usembassy.gov, and you will find the announcement and everything on the embassy website. There is an information session that will be organized at Amidist on September 9 at 4 o'clock to talk about how to apply for this program. So if you are interested, please go to Amidist Tunis on September 9, which is a Tuesday at 4 p.m. And if you have any questions, you can contact my colleagues there, Sahar Kamoun, and you have a generic Fulbright email account address. The deadline for submitting is September 17. Any questions before I move forward? Because this is an important scholarship that is offered here. Yeah,
what about the financial part?
That's a good question. Thank you. If accepted in this program, the Department of State will take in charge everything. So it will cover your tuition fees, your living costs, your accommodation, your insurance for 2 years, your book allowance. So everything will be covered as part of this program. When you go on that website and you click on this website, the one that you see up there or the one that you can see on your flyer, it will ask you to create an account. So you create an account and it will load you on a website, on a database, which is about 12 pages long, and you need to fill out every step. So there is a biographic part, and there is probably a couple of essays that you need to fill out. And if they ask you for the letters of recommendation, I know that maybe it's not enough time to get the letters of recommendation. You can just write the name of the recommender, and then afterwards, maybe around October 1st or something, you send us the rest, like the letters of recommendation. So do not block if you don't get all letters of recommendation before the 17th. You can ship them off to us later on. Is that clear? And also I recommend that you attend the session on September 9 at Amidist, not at the embassy. Please don't come and ask to get into the embassy because it's at Amidist.
Speak up, speak up.
Do we have the TOEFL test before applying to this program, or once applying to this program, we can sit for the TOEFL exam?
That's a good question. Once you apply, we will be inviting those who have been pre-selected, and we will be providing them with a voucher to sit for the exam. So you don't have to sit for the exam up front.
How many people you are planning to have for the day?
It's a scholarship that can allow up to 40 students. Up to 40 students. 4 students. When you go on this program, you go on a specific type of visa, which is a J1 visa. Generally, you should come back to Tunisia for 2 years. That doesn't mean that you can't go back to the US during those 2 years. You can go back on a tourist visa, on a student visa, on any kind of visa. But what you can do during those 2 years is go back to work in the US or go back on an immigrant visa. So, is that clear? Good. Well, I highly encourage you, I vividly encourage you to apply for this program. It's a very interesting program. It can change your life, and you can talk to the Fulbrighters who have participated last year or the year before. This has been really a life-changing experience. So, this is a Tunisia-specific program. Moving along, we have another program which is called Fulbright MA program. It's called Fulbright Foreign Student Program, and it also allows you to conduct or to pursue an MA in the US. An MA or an MBA, Master of Business Administration, or if you are interested in conducting research, you can apply for a one-year PhD research program. So this one is our core flagship program that we also offer every year. So you are eligible, particularly if you have completed your engineering cycle and you have registered in the graduate cycle, you can apply for the one-year PhD research to do full fundamental research. And you can read about this program also by going to our website or Amethyst website. GIST, this is a new program offered by the US Department of State, and it's called Global Innovation Through Science and Technology. The GIST initiative builds entrepreneurial ecosystems in emerging economics by identifying, coaching, and funding the most promising technology entrepreneurs through its flagship competitions, startup accelerator services, online social media platform, and interactive mentorship programs. I highly encourage you to look this up because it allows you, because there are throughout the year a lot of competitions, a lot of contests. So who has the best entrepreneurial idea? Who has the best technological idea? Who has brought something that jumps off the page? And you can get full funding to participate in these, in the GIST summit, which takes place not necessarily in the US. It can take place in Kuala Lumpur, it can take place in Turkey, but it gets you amidst a community of people who have successfully started their business, who have successfully started their startups, and you can rub shoulders with them, and maybe, even though you are engineers, you can probably get an entrepreneurial idea that combines the engineering skills that you have with the entrepreneurial skills that you will develop while rubbing shoulders with these people. So try to look this up. It's an interesting program. The NISA UGRAD program, NISA stands for Near East South Asia Undergraduate Program. It's a semester-long program for undergraduate students, and you can apply now. It has three main components. There is the coursework, where you get to study courses in your specialization. So you choose elective courses in your area of specialization. But also, you can do community service. So you can work as a volunteer with an NGO or help. Community service is a notion that is very well developed in the US. Community service is how to serve voluntarily the community. It's not a notion that is well developed here, but in the US, for example, during Katrina, many houses were destroyed, and there was an NGO called Habitat for Humanities, which made a call for people internationally, an international call, to invite volunteers to come and help rebuild what has been destroyed. And Habitat for Humanities was able to build so many houses for the, and shelters for people. So that's the notion, more or less. And you can apply, because it will be announced in December of 2014. So you can apply, again, by going to our website, tunisia.usembassy.gov. All right, Thomas Jefferson Scholarship Program. We have one participant, right? Do you want to come and talk about for 2 minutes about your experience? Yes, please. It's a one-year program for undergraduate students.
We had many.
This was a surprise. So take a minute or two to talk about it.
Hello everybody. So for the Thomas Jefferson Scholarship, I participated twice in this scholarship. It was a great opportunity to pass the TOEFL, first of all, because it's not like the TOEIC that we pass here, but it's more difficult, let's say. And what else?
What about the experience?
Yeah, I was chosen actually the first time as an alternate semi-finalist, and then from the finalists as an alternate, but unfortunately none of the students who were chosen as real finalists decided to not go to US. So I tried again for the second time, and in the second time I was chosen as semi-finalist too, but I was not chosen as finalist.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you went to the US and came back.
No.
But I wish you the best of luck. Sorry. So it's a one-year program which has three main components. The first component is taking courses in your area of specialization. an internship component and community service component, but normally, since you will be applying in December, you are still undergraduates. You are considered as in undergraduate because you still have one semester to finish, right? You still have a paper, one paper to write, so you are still considered as undergraduate, so you can definitely take part, you are eligible to take part in this program. And they can send you anywhere in the US. So maybe people have a tendency to think, you know, I'll be in New York, or I'll be or in Phoenix, or you know, in LA, or you know, it's not always the case. So, Don, yes.
One is just one year in engineering school is a deal breaker. So,
no. To be honest, no. We look for people who are highly enthusiastic, who can adapt in a new environment, who can really be cultural ambassadors in the US when they go in the US. They will be cultural ambassadors of Tunisia, who have good English, level of understanding is good, level of comprehension is good, spoken level is good, who have a high level of adaptability, you know, high level of adaptability. That means, you know, if you are again in a small town, a bit like in the middle of nowhere, on the borders with Mexico, you know, with a lot of deserts surrounding you know, you should be, you know, capable. But again, from my experience, 99% of those who participate in our programs were very successful. They came completely different. I cannot myself recognize them, you know. Believe me, this is something that, but also something important that you have to bear in mind. Probably, as future job seekers, spending a year or two in a foreign country gives you a lot of added value, because you will grow professionally, you will grow academically, you will grow at a personal level. Also, when you present you are looking for a job, you are presenting your credentials, the employer looks at your dossier very differently from the person who has just done a very regular routine, like, you know, coursework, which didn't really jump off the page. So that will make a big difference when it comes to job.
We are really cut out of all the opportunities because we just paid 1 year. It's really good to hear that.
No, absolutely. I mean, don't worry about that. You know, that's not the criteria. This one is an exciting program. It's called the Global Business Institute, and it is a 4-week curriculum based on the core elements of the Kelly School of Business. There is a competition that will be announced in December, and this competition will be based on Facebook, where you present your ideas, and the best ideas, entrepreneurial ideas, will be selected, and we will be interviewing those who have been selected to discuss even further their entrepreneurial idea and the feasibility of their entrepreneurial idea. And this is not open only to students of business. No. Over the last 3 years, we have been sending students in the field of engineering, in any field, as long as your idea has a strong entrepreneurial component and can be done and feasible on the ground. So when you go there to the Kelly School of Business, which is one of the top universities in Indiana, you will be studying things like market research, feasibility studies, how to do a business plan. Even though you are an engineer, but this will complement your education as an engineer and as a future entrepreneur. Okay? So this will be announced in December, and you will be witnessing live the daily operations of small and medium businesses and participate in a business contest. And there will be other participants from around the region, from the NEA region, Near East region, and the best project that will be chosen will be supported with seed funds, so that when you come back to Tunisia, you can implement your project in real life. Okay? So this is an exciting program, and I hope you can seize the opportunity. MEPI Student Leaders Program. This is another exciting program which is offered, and you are eligible. It's offered to you, and you are eligible. It's for summer 2015, and generally it's July, August. It's for undergraduate students 18 to 24. It's a 5-week academic residency and field study program. The focus is on leadership, how to develop leadership skills, how to become a leader in any field, not necessarily the political field, but also the business field, any field. You will meet with American and civic and political leaders, decision makers, NGO managers, and entrepreneurs. Alongside, you will be discovering American democratic values and culture. So this will be announced in December 2014, and we have selected, I think, 11 or 12 last year. So there is a big number going on these programs, which are trying to hone your leadership skills. You know, probably you will find yourself doing some astonishing things like kayaking, on a river, and you would try to understand what's the link between this leadership program and kayaking. But when you do kayaking, you know that there should be a leader giving some guidance so that the boat doesn't simply sink. So there will be a lot of interesting activities, sporting, cultural, academic, which will lead you into trying to understand what the notion of leadership is. And another interesting program called Study of the US Institute for Student Leaders on Social Entrepreneurship. It's going to be in the summer 2015 also. As you can see, most of these programs are announced around December, maximum January, but December is generally the month when we announce most of our programs. So it's also for undergraduate students under 25. It's a 5-week academic residency and field study program. It focuses on entrepreneurial. Do you have an idea about social entrepreneurship, what social entrepreneurship means? Can you tell me, can you give me a definition, what is a social entrepreneurship? What's the difference between social entrepreneurship and business entrepreneurship? Well, the business entrepreneurship, my definition of the business entrepreneurship is a business that will try to promote your self-welfare, let's say. But the social entrepreneurship, it's trying to find a business model, a successful business model, that will contribute to solving a challenging social situation. I don't know if you get it, but for example, if we look at the example of Muhammad Yunus, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and who established the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, it's the poorest country, the poorest community ever. What he did is he encouraged, or he provided small credits or small loans to small artisans, let's say, to try to start their business, and the interest rate is very low. So he was trying to give loans to try to encourage these people to work and gain their life. So he was trying to solve a social problem. It's a business model, it's a successful business model, which was solving a huge social problem. You see the drift? So this program actually focuses on this. But it's not for business people, not necessarily for business people. It's for any student who has, for example, been active in the field, let's say, who has been very active with an NGO, with an association, who has some interesting ideas about how to use a specific model, not necessarily a business model, it can be an engineering model, to solve a social problem. Is this clear? Is it clear? Good. All right. And this program is called Study of the U.S. Institute for Women Student Leaders on Women's Leadership. It's specifically for women, and it focuses on individual rights, rule of law, freedom of expression, gender equality and diversity. It takes place in the US and ends in Washington, D.C., and it's also going to be announced in December 2014. Grants for research and conferences. This is interesting. Why? Because many of you, I'm sure, do not know that at the US Embassy, we provide small grants. What does grant mean? Grant is trying to provide small funds to support the participation of a scholar, of a student, whatever, a researcher, to attend a conference or colloquium in the US. So, for example, if you submit your paper or you submit your presentation and it's accepted in a conference, in a colloquium, or in a symposium, then you can send us your letter of acceptance and we can fund your participation, not full participation, but at least the airfare to attend these conferences. Okay? Yes, and it's not something that, you know, you will find on the website of the embassy, but it's something that we do, and we do very often to encourage young researchers and future researchers. So think about this as a possible option. Now, it's important to know that we do not only have scholarships, but also we have about 3 or 4 big libraries. We have the Information Resource Center at the Embassy, which is equipped with a lot of databases. These databases like ProQuest, EBSCO, Festiva, JSTOR, LexisNexis, and what have you, allow you as future researchers to look at some reviews, specific reviews, technical reviews about things that you cannot find on the internet. We are subscribed to these very expensive databases, which are specialized in reviews, in providing you specialized reviews. So if you are going to write a paper in the future and you need references and you can come to us in the Information Resource Center and do your research there. It's almost cost-free. So also we have about 7,000 titles in the library. We have about 820 movies. We have online catalogs, and we organize a lot of roundtables, DVCs. DVCs are digital video conferences, where we invite an expert or speaker in the US to interact with Tunisian students. So that we have a wealth of resources that I invite you to come and discover, either at the embassy, or we have 3 American corners, what we call American corners. There is an American corner based at Anitis, Tunis, and an American corner based at Anitis, Sousse, and we have an American corner based in Sfax. And we have a lot of resources that you can, discover and you can benefit from. Well, I know that you have already been exposed to MOOCs, but I want just to try to throw at you the concept once again. But any of you is familiar with MOOCs? MOOCs, yes. Can you tell me what this concept means to you?
Like, it's free courses from all over the world. Like, you can have and get access to courses in many universities that can help, like, really go, like California State University. And sometimes, like, you can get free certificates when you finish.
Have you followed any courses?
Yes, like couple.
On which on any of these sites, maybe? On MIT? Coursework. On MIT, yes. Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which offers thousands and thousands and thousands of free courses on any area of specialization and sub-specialization. And it's called MIT OpenCourseWare. And I invite you to discover those free courses. You don't get necessarily credit for that. There is no charge, but it's the same course as if you were attending. You are a student at MIT, or you are a student at Stanford, or you are a student at Carnegie Mellon University. So there is, there are so many courses for people around the world. What we are going to do at the embassy is try to promote the concept of MOOCs by probably inviting several students who are interested in particular courses, and we invite experts, what we're going to call MOOC camps, and invite experts to try to facilitate an in-depth understanding of these courses, and understand in-depth, what the course is about, and then there is a follow-up discussion, etc., etc. So, if you are interested, first of all, try to go on these websites and discover the wealth of courses that exist. If you go, for example, to MIT OpenCourseWare and you write engineering, and then you should be able to write the subfield, even the subfield, and choose whether you want an undergraduate course or a graduate course in any field of study. So, if you want more information about all of this, you should definitely visit the embassy website, tunisia.state.gov. If you have any questions about what I have been saying today, and I hope I have not lost you, it's you go to Tunis Exchanges help at state.gov. I encourage you to become members on our Facebook page. It's listed up there, because we post everything, any announcement, any new program that comes up is posted automatically on the Facebook page. And we also share success stories of returnees, etc. Also, you need to check out Amiz's website, because there are also a lot of scholarships offered on Amiz's website. And Education USA. Education USA is an interesting website if you want to know more, to understand how many accredited universities there are in the US, what is the best school in the field of aeronautics. That's your site. That's the best site you can go to do this kind of research. And voilà, thank you for your attention. But before we close it, let me take any questions that you might have here about any of the programs that I have talked about, or if you have any questions about anything else that concerns our mission, our activities, our programs, anything. Please don't feel shy or anything.
What are the paper needs for applying for a Tech Plus program?
So, actually there are not many papers needed. What you need to do is fill out the application available online. So the application, when you go on that link, the link that is there, you will create your account. You'll automatically enter a database where there is a biographic part. You have to fill it out, and there is a part of essays. You need to fill them out, and then maybe they will ask you for your transcripts. Transcripts are les relevés de notes, so you don't have to translate them. You just scan them and upload them, and you put the names of the referees, those who will be writing the letters of recommendation for you, and you submit. So that's very easy to do. I mean, we don't have a lot of papers to provide or anything like that.
And when you know if you are accepted or not? When you know if you are accepted?
It's going to be very soon. The deadline is September 17. The interviews will be toward the end of the month, because we are really in a hurry. And right after, we will notify you, right after the interviews. Yes?
After the master program, can someone get a job in US or need to go back?
Yeah, after the master's program, you cannot get a contract in the US. But you can stay in the US if you want to pursue even further your studies. If you want to do a PhD, you can be on a different type of a visa, like on an F1 visa or whatever kind of visa. But not if you get a contract.
Here in Tunisia, we have an opportunity to make a PhD degree after engineering graduation. I mean, without doing a master. Is it like Tunisia?
In the US?
Yeah.
In the US, no. You have to go for a master's.
Is there a mixed, master plus PhD?
There is a combination of both. At some schools where you can study directly both. You know, you do your full graduate cycle. Any more questions? It doesn't have to be about the scholarships, it can be about something else.
About the list of the university participating in this program, where we can find out?
Well, already you have to list 4 universities of your choice. And you can use this website, educationusa.info, and you can put down a university. Of course, try to be realistic, because everybody will put Stanford and Harvard and Yale, and these are very expensive. So you can use that website to pinpoint or to find a good school which offers a good specialization you are looking for. And you can put it down as your second choice or as your third choice. Yes. Yes. That's the weakness that we have, because we have not been supporting a lot that part, which is supporting those who got internships in the US. To be honest, so far I have not been. The internships that I saw people take part in are part and parcel of the program, like you saw the Thomas Jefferson program or the visa program, but we have not honestly been supporting, even though I have suggested myself to support students to go and do internships in the US, simply internships. But maybe the NISA grad program, which is just for 1 semester, you can apply for that one to go for 1 semester where you can do your internship during that period of time. All right. Well, if that's all, then let me thank you once again. All right. Thank you so much. And Bootheina, thank you very much. Hope to see you at at one of those American corners or research centers. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.